Hey, I'm Daniel with Powell Machine Incorporated. Stay with us and we're going to talk about this cam challenge. All right, so Eric got the cam challenge done. All the results are in, and I don't know if it was last night or this morning, but he emailed, I believe he emailed everybody all the data, all the dyno runs and the cam cards and all of that jazz and all the extra stuff he done also. So we ended up, the number 1 cam ended up in 9th place, and the number 2 cam ended up in, was it 11 or 12? I can't shoot, I should have that in front of me. 11 or 12, and then I think the cam we ground for the other competitor, it ended up right there close, like 13, 14. So it, even though it was a little different than I would have done it, it still actually done pretty good. It was really strong down low. It had really good power, but NK Performance just absolutely decimated the field. I mean, their cam was better everywhere, not just here or there or some places. It was better absolutely across the board. And it's, I mean, you know, again, you know, I say it all the time, but you know, there just some stuff, I mean, you just don't know, you know, you just don't know till you know. But they did a fantastic job. But if you take their cam out and the last place guy's cam out, everybody else, which is absolutely amazing to me, and I'm going to, this is just going to be a short video, I'm going to compile as much information as I can and look at, we're going to look in a more in-depth video, we're going to look at some you know, the opening and closing events, and I'm hoping so many, you know, it's just that way, so many cam cards, the people that donated that was actually got access to the cam cards. If you notice, and I see, well, actually I didn't see it, but some other people told me that people were saying, you know, how nice our cam cards are versus everybody else's. Pretty much everybody else's cards just give you the most basic information that you could get, and some of them don't give you any information that's actually really usable. But you know, like in our cam cards, we give you load data at 6, 50, and 200 on a hydraulic, and then we give you 20, 50, and 200 on a solid. And then if I have, you know, obviously I don't have other people's load data, but if I can get the load data emailed to me, like a S96 file or something, or, you know, the cam manufacturer will give me the information, what I would like to do, or what I'm going to do for as many as I can get that information for, is actually look at the actual valve events, not the load data, the valve events, and try to make a spreadsheet and just see, you know, because once we got the data and we can make a spreadsheet, and then we can turn that into usable information, you know, this is the best opening, this is the best closing, and then we can categorize who was where and when, and I think that'll help. It'll for sure help me, and I think it'll help a lot of other folks too. So I would love to do something like that, but with our Cam Doctor software, you know, if any cam we run or any lobe we run, we're able to not only see the lobe data itself, but we can extrapolate you know, at the valve, and we can see, you know, like solids with lash, with more lash, less lash, and we can see what all of that's doing in the running engine, right? And probably what I'll do when things get, we just so busy, especially if you ain't, well, maybe you have, if you've seen the video where we moved all this stuff and got the new grinder in, and it's up and running. I got to do some adjustments, but it's up and running. So I hope this weekend here, this is Saturday, I hope I'm gonna be grinding on it tomorrow, I hope. But I'm gonna try to, I got a short block we got to get together for a customer. I'm gonna try to put that short block together, and I'm gonna take my cutaway head that I used in the camshaft agreeing video, and I'm gonna try to, I'm gonna cut some more off of that head so you can see in the chamber and see the valve better. And I'm probably gonna put, we'll just put some kind of cam in it, and I'll put a degree wheel on, and we'll look at where stuff's opening and closing, and then we can, you know, see better. You can see better visually why this happened or that happened, or, you know, and maybe some of that'll make more sense, you know. But at the end of the day, I mean, I'd have loved to won or been second or third, but at the end of the day, to me, you know, I mean, basically, an 8th grade hillbilly with a 70-year-old grinder made it into top 10 against some folks with deep pockets and in-house dynos and years and years of experience. So in my mind, I think we did extremely well. God, I wish I had it in front of me. The average horsepower and torque difference between me at 9th place and second, I think the second place guy, which was GPI, theirs done really, really well too. It was still not in the same zip code as NK Performance, but it was still good. And I think the difference was literally like 1.6 or 8 foot-pounds of torque and like maybe 2 horsepower, 2 or 3 horsepower. I mean, that was the difference between 9th and 2nd. So literally you could take 2nd to 14th or 15th, and I mean, we're just talking a couple of numbers. I mean, it was insane that cams that much different made so little different horsepower. Even the peaks were very close. I mean, it was just amazing. And I think, just again, we're going to talk about it more in depth, but I think one thing, because when it was said and done, they put 2-inch headers on it, and nobody runs an 1 3/4 header on an LS that I'm aware of. Every customer I got's got 1 7/8 headers. So I think one of the keys to the deal where a lot of people, including me, missed the boat was how restrictive that header is. And I just didn't think that it would make that much difference, so I didn't focus on the exhaust side nearly as much, because I just didn't think it would make much difference. And both the number 1 and the number 2 cam both had tons of exhaust duration. And if you look at the event numbers, the exhaust opening is in a normal location, but the exhaust closing is really late. So it's giving it a lot more blowdown time to take care of that restrictive exhaust. Now, I don't think, but now I know. So in the future, you know, when we see stuff with this, you know, guy, a small header, we'll know what to do to counteract that. But you know, it's odd. Well, it's not odd, but from probably 1st to 15th, except for maybe one guy, maybe, the intake durations were within 2 degrees, 3 degrees tops. The exhaust duration is where it really varied a lot. You know, most everybody was around a 10 split, but you know, the winter was like a 21, I think, a 21 degree split. And so that made a massive difference with that restrictive exhaust. And like I say, I just didn't see it coming. It totally, you know, it was like Wile E. Coyote. It just went right by me. I didn't see it. So, so I think that had we, because the head flowed really good on the exhaust side, so I just assumed, you know, when I would have my shoes off, crunching the numbers and using my toes, I assumed that we just really wouldn't need a ton of split, because on normal, like OEM head LS3 stuff, we put 15, 16 degrees in, pretty common. That's standard operating procedure. But the head was so good, I only put 9, I think 9, it ended up at 9 degrees. And had I had, you know, again, hindsight's 20/20, but had I put 15 or 16 degrees in, it could have been a little different story. And I noticed, you know, one other thing, that there was a competitor that was finished up high, way up high, and they cam doctored the cam, and it was way different than the cam card. I don't think that was on purpose. I think that was an absolute accident, because I see that pretty often with that manufacturer. I see cams that don't match the card. They'll be off. But I enjoyed it, and Eric's already talking about doing another shootout with possibly a small block Ford or a big block Chevrolet, doing some solid roller stuff. So that'll be fun. And he's emailed all of us and, you know, give us the opportunity to decide which one we wanted to be part of. And I think he's going to break it up into 2 groups and do it. You can go see his video about that, about the final. Maybe I'll link it in the description, but I don't know any real details yet, but either it's probably going to be like a 408 Windsor, or, you know, probably a 496 big block, or something like that. But either way, you know, we do them all, so it don't make no difference to me. If I got a core, we'll grind it. So luckily, again, we got the new grinder in, so hopefully we're going to get caught up better on these cam orders. They keep coming, and I love it, but we're just struggling a little bit to keep up. And you know, the whole move and getting this stuff in took twice as long as we thought it was going to take, so that put us way behind. But for sure, the cam challenge was a nail biter. I couldn't wait to the end to see how it all laid out. But when we'll do another video again, like I say, with more in-depth, and I'll show you some of the graphs and like the Excel file that shows all the order with because they have 4 categories, so it shows where everybody placed in each category, which I thought was nice, because you know, you can really see. I mean, some places are literally tied with like 0.7s, and some are only separated by 0.3 or 4. So it is just still mind-boggling to me how close they are. And I mean, the cams were, you know, that 3rd place to 12th or 13th place, those cams were super close. I mean, they were different, but they wasn't way different. So, you know, maybe it's just in my mind that they should be farther away than they are. But when you start dissecting, you know, from 4,000 to 45 and 45 to 5, when you start looking at it in 500 RPM blocks, you see, you know, this one's way better down here and this one's better up here. And again, it's an average of all those numbers. So the cams have a place, right? I mean, this cam might be better in a car with traction problems because it ain't got as much torque down low and it's got some more torque up high. And so, you know, with all that data, you can pick a cam that's, you know, slightly more tailored to what you're trying to do, because we can move the power up here or move the power down here. But either one has within, you know, 1 or 2 numbers of the same average over that window. So that was really interesting how, you know, all of that played out. So anyway, thank you again, Eric, for in Dunsworth Machine for pulling all that off. It was really good. And like Eric said, and some other people, you know, we had a group text deal and everybody was just, you know, sharing and no BS nonsense and being ugly or any of that stuff. That was really refreshing, because sometimes you don't know people, so you don't know how they're gonna act, you know. So I was really impressed with that, and I would definitely love to do it again. Man, I'd love to do this twice a year if we could. And hopefully, if we ever get there, we get our dyno up and going. You know, I mean, obviously maybe not this coming episode, but maybe the next episode, you know, we can just be a bystander and, you know, maybe we could do it here or something. I think that would be cool. So anyway, thank you so much. But like I say, that's where we finished, 9th with the number 1 cam and 11th or 12th with the number 2 cam. And I think the number 2 cam, it made like 6 more peak horsepower. It was up there pretty good on the horsepower. I think we was like 656, and I think the number 2 place was like 660. So we was within 3.5 horsepower of the number 2 place on peak. So that was good. But anyway, I appreciate all the support. I've seen a lot of people that was pulling for us, and we really appreciate that. We really do. So next time maybe we'll have some more data and we can do a better job. But yeah, if he's talking about using the NK Performance cam as the control cam next time we do the LS deal. So just think about this. I mean, you know, where NK was, if we can build on that and make a better cam, whoever in the group can make a better cam. You know, we mess around and have a pump gas friendly, carbureted, you know, relatively economical 408 that's probably going to be into almost 700, maybe even over 700 horsepower. I mean, that's pretty substantial to me. But all right, I'm going to quit yakking. We'll see y'all on the next one. Thank you so much.